Hey y'all, we are back here for another video. Now, Ming Lee has come out and she's saying a lot now. She's actually agreeing with some of our analysis because y'all know that whole Chantel situation and then the Carlos King interview. That is not adding up and is really not sitting right with me. And it looks like Ming Lee is coming out saying, girl, you didn't tell us that, girl. And that was the conversation that we all had because it does not appear that Miss Chantel was being honest at all. Because I mean, we saw what happened on the show, but when she went back to the girls, that is not what she said, y'all. So let's get into this video.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
And y'all know exactly the situation that I'm talking about. Now, what we saw in that episode, we saw Chantel actually reach for her mother. Now, Chantel later went on Carlos King and she said, well, my mother touched me and she shouldn't have touched me knowing that I was upset. And everybody like, girl, what? Anywho, that was a very ridiculous interview, and she actually made herself look really stupid. In all actuality, if Chantel wouldn't have came out and did that interview, we were kind of on to the next story. But because she did this interview, she made us think about it again. And now we know for a fact that she is most definitely an idiot. Not only is she an idiot, she may be a little slow because I don't understand how you title that video accountability, but yet you take absolutely no accountability, which was crazy. Because if you're going to call it accountability, can you take some accountability? Well, it looks like Ming Lee is pretty much saying the same thing. Ming Lee is exposing Chantel's lies and her deceit because it's just what we saw. What she said after was very different. Now, on Carlos King's show, she says, oh, I forgot, and she made up more lies. Well, it seems like Ming Lee, who actually had access to what really went down and what was said, obviously they can cut it and do all of that and edit it. But it seems like Ming Lee is feeling exactly how the viewers feel. Like Chantel ain't nothing but a damn liar.
So said I take full accountability. And if nobody else will tell you, I'm gonna tell you this. You didn't take no accountability. You owe us an apology because you knew at some point you knew what really happened and you knew what you told us had happened. At no point could I push my mom, hit my mom, and live to do an interview with Carlos King. The episode said I take full accountability. And if nobody else will tell you, I'm going to tell you this. You didn't take no accountability.
And guys, this is exactly what we have been saying. Girl, listen, it was titled accountability, yet we saw no accountability. Now, the most frustrating part about all of this is where's all the other little minions that was running around Team Jackie? Now, again, we don't know what occurred in these people's lives, but what we can speak to is what we saw. Girl, what? You are definitely, Chantel, looking like a liar, bitter, nasty, low down child. Okay. When I say child, because you are your mother's daughter. But the simple fact, you brought this situation back to the ladies and you said that your mother attacked you or hit you, but yet you seem to leave out what actually happened. It was you that put your hands on her and then she knocked you to yesterday. And then even with that, Chantel comes out to tell us that I don't know why people decide to call me when I'm filming, doing this video. So let me just silence them. So get this. Not only does Chantel come out and tell us that lie on set, she then says that Jackie didn't really hit her. On her Carlos King interview, she said what ended up happening was somehow she got pushed into the camera, which makes sense because we saw her face all in the camera like that. So that makes sense. But the part that's really, really crazy, y'all, is that she's a liar. And one thing I can say about people, when a person is a liar, they lie. Okay. So nobody is trying to figure out why she lied or what was her reasoning. You lied. Okay. You lied. Keep in mind, with the situation with her and Jackie, she said it happened so quick. So it happened that quick that you didn't know that you hit her. You made it seem like you were attacked. You never one time said what happened. But yet on Carlos King, you says, well, wait a minute. She didn't really hit me. What happened was when she pushed, my finger got bent. But you took it back to the girls and you relayed it as if you had been assaulted, is what you did. And Ming Lee is pretty much feeling the same way that the viewers felt. Me, I'm a viewer. I felt the same way. Like, girl, wait a minute, this isn't adding up. So I guess the one of the issues with this story is your lies are adding up, and it's looking like this was all a setup that Todd set up to come with us, with the bullshit. No, but seriously, this is definitely a lie. And we don't know what part you lying about. We don't know what part is true. But one thing I can say about liars is eventually they tell on themselves. Example here. You told the girls that Jackie tried to knock your head off. Well, you said she actually did it. But on Carlos King, you said, oh no, she didn't. And then we saw you put your hands on her. Okay. So it's like, girl, you are somebody that we simply can't trust because you are a liar. And Ming Lee has basically put you on blast.
You owe us an apology because you knew at some point you knew what really happened and you knew what you told us had happened.
Right. And let's just touch on that a little bit. Even if it happened so fast, at some point you knew, and you knew what you told them, which was a lie. So this isn't about you didn't know or you forget. You knew at some point and you continue with the lie.
At no point could I push my mom, hit my mom, and live to do an interview with Carlos King. The episode said I take full.
Girl, not only did you hit, push, do all these things to your mother, you literally did an interview, doubled down on everything you did, titled the video accountability. And I don't know if Carlos is trying to make you look like an idiot because, girl, it's looking like that. Because why did he make that video accountability? The only accountability you took is you were sorry for involving your dad, which is so crazy that you have so much love for your dad. Your dad can never do anything wrong, but Jackie is a monster, let you tell it. But the more I listen to Chantel speak, the only monster I see is her, because I don't care what you say happened or how toxic your mother is. As an adult, you don't have to deal with your mother, okay? You don't have to deal with her. And let me just tell you something else you don't have to do. You don't have to go on national TV and call your mama every single bitch in the book. And another thing you don't have to do is tell lies, because you want to tell us how horrible Jackie is. But when I see Jackie, I see you. And I don't see much of a difference. The only difference is obviously Jackie is older. She has more experience. And I think you are a spoiled, privileged. Okay.
Nothing, got the scoop on lock, spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot.